Welcome back into the DFS studio, inside the DFS studio. It's been a while. I've been on sabbatical. I promised myself I would only come back and kickstart this project again if there was someone worth the time. We still haven't found anyone. Big T's making me do this. I'm kidding. Ali Mccann. Yay. She's our content creator here at RunPure Sports and RunPure Bets. I don't think they've seen your face yet. I don't know if I should go in the gallery view. Yeah, there we go. And also, Ali, don't take any tips from what I do. I have thrown everything out. There's no journalistic integrity. There's nothing anymore. So do not do what I do. Just answer the questions with a smile. How the hell are you?
I am fantastic. I'm super excited to do this. I've never been on the other side of interviewing, so...
Yeah. It sucks. I just did that for the first time. It was like soul searching. It was awful, to be honest with you. But don't be nervous. Yeah. It's just me, and I'm an idiot. Who is Ali Mccann? This is a broad question. I don't even know if you're going to be able to answer this. Who is Ali Mccann?
I don't even know how to answer that.
Yeah.
Well,
how tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Okay, so you're really 5'4", because you're just saying you're a little bit taller. Or are you really 5'5"?
No, I'm 5'5". I actually grew in college an inch. I was 5'4", but now I'm 5'5".
You did too. You did too. I went from 5'8" to 5'9" and 3/4 in college. So I also grew in college. But did you stop growing? Like it's over now?
I did. It's all done. My dream height was like 5'8", but that's never happening.
Why did you want to be 5'8"? Usually my sweet spot is between 5'4" and 5'7". 5'8's a little bit much. What's with the 5'8" thing? And I wish I was like 6'4". I wish I had another however many that is, but I wish I was 6'4". I could look down on people besides for just in my head doing that. So why did you want to be 5'8"?
I don't know. My mom was 5'8". So I just always wanted to be taller.
You got recessive genes. Yeah, you got the short genes.
Yeah.
You have two brothers, from what I understand. Nikola Jokic has two brothers. Do you have one brother or two brothers?
One brother. His name is Scott. He's older than me.
Mm-hmm. What about the other guy? I thought there was another brother, but there's obviously not. He's one brother. He's older than you. Did he ever have to beat up anybody in the name of Ali Mccann?
Definitely never bet up anybody, but he's threatened for sure.
Has he really? He threatened someone. Really? Are you allowed to tell this story?
I don't know. I mean, it's really not fun. I just remember there was this kid in high school that was at my lunch table, and he would always make comments to me. And I just remember my brother saw him out one time and was like, yo, stop picking on my sister. Then I knew.
Picked on in high school? Well, hold on.
I wouldn't say picked on, but you know how high school boys are. They like to make their comments at girls.
Were they snide comments, or were they about you being a nerd or something else? Like, what was it? Was it about your appearance?
I wish I could remember this in depth. But I just remember, and it's funny because I saw this kid on Facebook today, and I thought of that incident. So it's weird that we're bringing it up right now.
You are an odd bird, and don't take this personally. First of all, you have a Yahoo email account.
Okay.
Are you a boomer? I mean, like, I have a Yahoo email account, but it's 20-something years old. Why does someone in their early to mid-20s have a Yahoo account on email?
Do you know how many people in this industry make fun of me for having a Yahoo?
You deserve it.
So the reason why, you know when you're younger and you make those like email addresses that are just stupid usernames and then you can't use them professionally.
Okay.
So I had a Gmail like that. And when I tried to make a new email account as more of like a professional, they were out of all the names I wanted. So the only email address site that I could use that had an email name available was Yahoo. Now I'm on Yahoo.
I think you should try and bring it back. Like, don't act embarrassed. Just be like, yeah, Yahoo. And then people are going to follow you. And you're like, when you're young and you're trying, when I was young, we didn't even have computers. Okay. We had nothing. We had like telephones that were connected into a wall. We had our computers were basically typewriters. You've never even used a typewriter, have you?
No, I've never used a typewriter, but I've used a landline. We still have a landline in my house.
What? Really? That's great. Okay.
Yes.
Do you just pick it up sometimes and use it for the nostalgia? Do you call, like, I don't know anybody's phone number. Do you know anyone's phone number?
Their house numbers?
No, not their, yeah, like their cell number. Like you saw somebody.
Yeah. Well, besides like my parents, no.
Okay.
I memorized my parents, my brother, but
Yeah. Do you want to give their number out right now? No, don't do it.
No, we'll keep it.
Don't do it. Okay. I'm going to take a hard left on you.
Okay.
So I do a couple of shows. I do one called the Young Guys Pod with Rubio and Title. They're they're 23 years old. They're around your age. And then I do a pod with the old guys, and they're all in, late 40s, early 50s and stuff like that. Now, it's unfortunate because there's an old person and a young person that has never heard of Eastbound and Down. And it was very disappointing when I saw this, because I must say the first girl I've ever dated that enjoyed that movie, or that show, it's amazing. Like, we'll just sit down and laugh at it. How is it that you can be in the sports world and have not had Eastbound and Down experiences?
I got enough of this on Twitter and from
Well, you're going to get some more.
I just started it. I'm on episode 5 right now. So I'm enjoying it, but I don't know how. I never even heard of it.
Yeah, that says something. I mean, that's so when this thing came out, though, you were probably in high school, and I don't know if you had. So you've watched the first 4 or 5 episodes. Can I get a rundown of what you've enjoyed about the show? Do you not enjoy the show? Because you've done minor league baseball, and Kenny's kind of trying to get back there now.
Yeah. He's like that typical guy that can't accept the fact that his career is over.
So you're basically talking about me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just messing with you. All right, so he can't accept it. I was going to say this, like I introed BigT one time. I've interviewed a president, Hall of Famers in all 4 major sports, and now you. And then they always make fun of me for that. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So Eastbound and Down, give me the report card.
I enjoy it. I think it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I love comedy shows. I'm big into The Office. I don't know if you want to consider that comedy, but I'm from the area of where it's based, so obviously I have to be a fan of it. But it's a little different from The Office, but I enjoy it. It gives me a good laugh before I go to bed. Yeah,
so you just turn on the TV, you watch Eastbound and Down. So what else do you watch on TV? Let's find out more. We say, who is Ali Mccann? What else do you watch? And then I'm going to throw some movies at you, and I'm wondering if you've ever heard of them. So let's go.
Okay. My favorite movie is actually a sports movie, but continue.
What?
Remember the Titans.
Okay, that's not a bad movie. I actually lived right next door, like right down the block from that high school. That was Alexandria, Virginia, I believe.
T.C. Williams.
Yeah, there you go. T.C. Williams. You know it really well. So that's your favorite sports. What do you like about that movie? That's your favorite movie overall.
Yeah, it's from 2001. First of all, so I grew up
watching.
Were you even
alive? It. Yeah, you were like 4
yes,
or 5.
I was alive. My brother and I, we just always watched it growing up. When we were in the car traveling. Remember the cars that used to have the DVD players?
Oh yeah, I remember those.
My parents would throw Remember the Titans on for us, but it's just one of those movies that's my comfort movie. I could just throw it on, recite almost half of it.
Really? What else? Give me some other movies besides for that, and I'll judge you, and I'll completely judge you as a person off of what I hear. So what are some of the other ones?
Sports movies?
Any movie.
I love chick flicks, of course. But another sports movie, Glory Road. That's
No. Go to the chick flicks. Let's hear it. What's the chick flick?
You know the series on that, not series, but the To All the Boys I Loved Before.
No idea what you're talking about, young
There's
lady.
3 of them on Netflix.
Have you ever seen Tiger King?
So during the pandemic and the height of it, my brother and I tried watching it, and horrible.
You didn't like it?
No.
Okay.
No, everyone was like, give it a couple episodes. I'm like, how do you give this a couple episodes?
Yeah. It's awful. It was more like a train wreck. And there are a lot of things that I watched during the pandemic that I would not admit. What did you not like about Tiger King? Because it really did sweep the nation. And I'm pretty sure that most of the idiots at RunPure have watched it and enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I wanted to hop on it, because it was TikTok, Twitter. It was all over every social platform. Yeah. I could not get into it. It just grossed me out. I don't know. Okay. I think remember the meat truck, when they went on the meat truck, that one episode that was where I was like, no, we're done.
Are you vegan?
I'm not vegan, but that just like went right through me.
Have you ever been on a farm?
Farm?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, where I'm from, there's a lot of farmlands out here.
Have you ever milked a cow?
I think I milked a cow on a field trip before.
Yeah. Really? High school?
Yes.
Yeah, that must have been fun.
Elementary, like in Amish country, Lancaster.
Oh, I love the woodworking in Amish country. Yeah, so you were in Amish country as a child, milking cows. Bet you didn't think the interview was going that direction, did you, Ally Mccann? So I have to do research on you. I have to do research on everybody I talk with.
Yes.
So also it looked like your photographs are professional. Do you have someone following you around for your photographs?
Wow, I wish I did. I hope to get to that status one day.
How do they get that clear then? Because my pictures go up there, they look like shit.
Yours I have like the newest iPhone, which is basically like carrying around a professional camera now.
You think so? Because mine don't come out that good.
No.
They're awful, as a matter of fact. They're grainy. I don't know what I'm doing there. Maybe you could teach me how to use an iPhone. That'd be kind of cool. Okay.
Deal.
And then you have a lot of pictures. Who do you have? Who's your picture taker? Do you have an official picture taker, or do you you're a content creator, so you go out there and you put your thing up and you put it on time?
Let me show you.
Yeah, please.
This is my best friend.
So you walk around town with a tripod.
I don't walk around town. Most of the times, if I'm out in public, my friends are taking the photos. But if I'm at home or in my backyard, somewhere secluded, this is what I film all of my RunPure videos on. All my vet videos. So. Okay.
So you have a tripod that you walk around with. And if we see a picture of you at the beach, does that mean you packed your tripod in?
No.
Okay.
That's a friend or my mother. My wonderful mother.
Okay. Yeah, I need help. The Twitter thing I'm fine at, but that's for old people, right? Isn't Twitter for old people?
So when I got the job with RunPure, that was the first time I used Twitter in a couple of years. I didn't even have the app. I would use it on my browser computer.
Oh, really? You're kind of an old soul, I feel like. You use landlines, you like old movies. You carry around a tripod. That's things that I've done. I mean, again, you don't even know, but I've got extra tripods just sitting around here myself. See, and I walk around.
When you work in this industry, you have studio lights and tripods everywhere.
Right.
It's just part of the game.
You got to do your lighting and everything. You got to do all that stuff. All right. Let me continue with our line of questioning here. So, where'd you go to college? What'd you do in college? What'd you go to school for?
I went to Temple University, which is in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Go Owls. And my degree was actually in public relations. I hated it, hated the industry, but by the time I realized that, I would have been adding on extra years if I changed my major. So all of my extracurricular classes were in broadcasting. I had my own show at Temple for covering all of Temple sports, and that's kind of where my love for broadcasting developed. It wasn't even my major, but.
What was your show? What was the name of your show?
It was called Owl Access Pass.
Owl Access Pass. And was this geared toward elementary school people with that name, or what?
No, so we're the Temple Owls, and then Access Pass to all of the behind the scenes stories of our sports teams.
Sounds like something I would watch on Nickelodeon with my kids. The Owl Access Pass. It's just absolutely. All right. So then we're going to get into sports, and then we're going to get into your dream job, which I think we're going to have a lot of talk, because you're going to hit John Sarabian, JSU's heart. He's a big fan of what you're going to say. So sports, you worked in minor league baseball, which is just awful. It's the worst thing ever. You don't have to comment on that. You may still be working in it, but
I'm not.
Oh, you're not working in it anymore?
No.
Okay.
No, we're done.
You and I have something very in common besides for being human beings and absolutely electric personalities. Minor league baseball sucks. And you go to college. Is that your first job out of college or your second job out of college?
Yeah,
Okay.
I graduated in 2019 and I took some time off, which was the worst idea I ever had because by the time I was ready to get a job, we got hit with a global pandemic. So 2 years after I graduated, I landed a job in minor league baseball with the lovely Memphis Redbirds, the AAA affiliate to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. So what is a typical day like for Ali Mccann in AAA baseball? Because I told you, I've done independent, I've done AAA, and it's horrible. It's just miserable. It's a miserable lifestyle.
The thing about AAA baseball is your job is every job. You know, I was getting 5 a.m. tarp pull calls to pull the tarp off of the field at 5 a.m. And actually the Redbirds shared a field with a USL soccer team. So we would have to help transform the field from baseball to soccer, then back to baseball. It was a fun summer. I got a lot of, yard work.
You got yard work in. So just personally, I feel like at your stature, I'm not making any judgments. Like how much are you really going to help pulling the tarp out? Are you just,
and we would get, told like, don't miss the tarp. Like you can't leave people hanging, but I would, I always showed up for tarp duty, which is what we called it, tarp duty. But how much was I helping? I have absolutely no upper body strength.
Right.
So
it didn't work for you. It didn't work out.
It wasn't my favorite thing about summer of 2021.
I absolutely respect you for that because it would have been easy for Ali to say, you know what, guys, I got no upper body strength. Look at me. I'm not going to do it. But you did it. You sucked it up and you did it.
And, my dad, he spent his whole career in baseball, and he always told me his time in the minor leagues was his favorite part about baseball, just because, it's a free-for-all. You never know what the day is going to hold.
Your dad is former Atlanta Brave Brian McCann?
You know how many people ask me if that's my dad? I'm like, that'd be pretty cool.
He would have had you at 13, so probably not. What did your dad do? He was a baseball player?
He was not a player. He was the former trainer in the Chicago Cubs organization. So he spent a couple years in the minors, and then his last 3 years were in the majors, and then I was born. So his career in baseball came to a screeching halt. All
right. So that must have been the late 90s.
Yes.
I bet you he was in Des Moines with the Iowa Cubs, but I doubt that.
He was.
Oh, he was? So we probably missed each other by just a few years, though, because mine was I did my time in Des Moines from 02 to 03, but you're saying he was done in the 90s, right?
Yes. He left in 97, I believe, which was his last year in the majors. So
okay. Yeah. Now, listen, Ali and I beforehand set some ground rules. This is not an interview like I'm talking to Big T or Hoop and being completely disrespectful, okay? This young lady actually is trying to have a real career in broadcasting, and if I interview her like that, it's going to come back and get her. There's guys like me that just don't give a shit anymore. Whatever, you're going to have to accept me for who I am and what I do. I know how it works, though. You're young. You don't want this stuff coming back to you, so we're not going to go there. But I will ask you this.
Yes.
Have you ever dated a famous person and or athlete? Has that ever happened to you? Never.
And, working in sports as a female, you kind of have to realize, if you want to have a reputable reputation, athletes are off limits. So
that's one thing to hear. And we're going to talk about how shitty you get treated in the industry. But I will say this. The majority of my friends who are females that are even halfway attractive have been with athletes or famous people. So I wonder if at this time it's just been so Heidi Watney, she was with the Red Sox and Veritek, and you can go on and on and on and on with all these athletes. Mm-hmm. But you don't think that's become accepted yet where you can date an athlete? No.
I mean, then that's to everyone's own discretion, but I think especially for me, someone who's just starting off,
Mhm.
that's just
Why bother?
not a good look, because I feel like you lose your credibility, and
Wow.
that's all people look at you as, is like, oh, that's so-and-so's girlfriend.
That's
you know?
interesting. Yeah, because I've actually met quite a few reporters who've done that, and I never felt that way. But if that's the sense that you're getting, obviously that's going to be tough. Also, there's stuff you got to put up with that I don't have to put up with now in the business. They'll call me an asshole, a fucker, all sorts of horrible things.
Yeah.
But that just bounces. That's not a big deal. Take me through a day in the life of Ali Mccann in the sports world, because you even see it in the comments. Will you marry me? This and that. And that. What's it like for a young woman trying to come up in the business?
I think, women automatically lose their status of knowledge. People are like, oh, they only get a job because they're attractive, or like who they know. So I feel like if you want to work in sports as a woman, you automatically have to do 10 times more research than the average guy just to even float at that level. So, the other day I had a talk with Lisa Ann, who's great, by the way, and she said, I spend almost 8 hours a day doing research on football and all of this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, she gave me a lot of tips. And the main sport I follow is baseball. I worked in it, so all summer I was following baseball. But I feel like you have to know so much to keep up and sound smarter, sound like you know what you're talking about.
No question. No question. Now, how do you deal with the snide remarks and the snide comments?
I'm not good on social media, like when people make comments, and thankfully I haven't had any comments my way that have been offensive. I'm sure maybe
they haven't.
No, nothing that's like made me cry, and I cry a lot. So
yeah, it was awfully pretentious of you to say, attractive people, like myself. Why don't you just settle down on that? You don't have to, you absolutely did, settle down. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, personally, I like shorter women, to be honest. They're in the 4-foot range, completely out of shape. They like ice cream, because I do too. So settle down.
I like ice cream.
Yeah, but you're too tall. And again, I don't want to build your ego up, because you already said you're so beautiful. Whatever. So baseball is your favorite sport. Phillies fan? Is that what you grew up as?
I'm a Cubs fan,
How? Oh, because your dad.
Yes.
Did you go to the World Series?
I did not. He went to Game 6, which I was not, happy about that he got to experience that. I was in college. I was a sophomore in college at the time, but I remember Game 7 sitting on my apartment floor holding my rosary beads, praying.
Oh, okay. Rosary beads. It's something I've never had. I understand that's supposed to bring you good luck. Are you into jinxes? Like, do you believe in jinxes and bad mojo and stuff like that?
In sports, yeah. I just think it's fun and sticking for your team.
Oh, it's fun. So do you really believe it, or you just think it's a fun thing?
I don't know. I mean, like, will I wear the same sweatshirt in a did I wear the same sweatshirt every game that the Cubs won in the 2016 World Series? Yeah, of course I did. But I don't know if I...
So you believe in witchcraft is what you're also saying. You believe in witchcraft. Okay. I feel you. There's a lot of people that believe in that. Just so you know, though, had you lived 250 years ago, you would have been burned at the stake. So I know the plight of women these days is tough, much more difficult back in the 17 and 1800s. Okay? You need to know that. You just need to know that. I was at every game in that World Series that year. I grew up.
Really? Did you cover it, or did you just go?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was like one of the best.
Wow.
Probably, actually, the only reason why I took the job is because I knew that if the Cubs got to the World Series in the next 2 years, I would be able to go to that. And I'm not even kidding. Like, I took it. I said, oh, if they can just get there, because I grew up in Chicago in high school. So I kind of know. Are you a Cubs fan? Not anymore. I grew up a Mets fan, and then I was the Cubs and, all this other stuff. Yeah. But you're going to be in this business long enough to where you're just going to lose it all. It sucks. Yeah, you're going to lose all your allegiances, except for Temple.
I can't tell you. I don't think I watched more than like 3 Cubs games this summer.
Well, because they stink.
Well,
Good,
yeah,
you
they
would
were
have
a little
watched
hard
it.
to watch,
Yeah.
but it's just like I was so busy. I was watching mostly and following mostly minor league baseball, but it sucked. I didn't get to follow my own team. But
It does. It
yeah.
does. I hear you. So we did the baseball thing. Let's get to your dream job, because this is what JSU. Do you know JSU? He's the speaking of 4 foot people. He's the little guy that we do the show with. Leading up to
Yes, I've mentioned him in some of my videos to say like, hey, catch him on the shows and stuff.
Wonderful human being. He's a wonderful human being. He's a big wrestling guy. His brothers used to beat the shit out of him. They were wrestlers. So WWE wrestling, talk to us, tell us, give us a little insight. Ali Mccann wrestling. Are you a wrestler?
So, when I was 9-10 years old, my dream in life was to become a woman wrestler and be the next Divas champion.
Ooh. Yeah.
That title doesn't exist anymore, nor does my desire to go to a gym. But
why don't you want to go to a gym? Because they're dirty?
I don't enjoy working out.
So what do? You just run?
Nothing. I do nothing. So before I moved to Memphis, I was doing CrossFit.
You do nothing?
I do no physical activity. I'll go for a walk.
You are so screwed when you're about 10 years from now. It's going to be great. All right.
I have a fast metabolism for right now. So let me,
No. Definitely. Yes. Great metabolism. Keep going with that. Wonderful. So you wanted to be a diva. What happened to the female wrestling diva thing? Whatever happened to that? Because I'm not into
I don't know. My mom hated my wrestling phase. Like when I was younger and I just wanted to I had to watch every Friday night SmackDown, every Monday night Raw, every pay-per-view back when you had to buy pay-per-views. And I don't know. I stopped watching when I went to high school because I got involved in sports I did sports my whole life, but I never kept up with it. And then I grew out of it. But my love for WWE has always been there. Every time I would see something on the internet, it brings me back to my days. I was very into it.
So there's so much to unfurl here. You wanted to be a wrestler. So you're what, in middle school? Who was your favorite wrestler?
I was in like 5th grade.
Elementary. Okay.
Yeah. Elementary. My favorite wrestler.
Of all time.
Mm-hmm. That's hard. I loved Jeff Hardy, who's actually still around today.
Okay. What about Jeff Hardy? What about him?
I don't know. He was a high flyer. So
he was a high flyer. Okay. Jeff Hardy, one of them. Who else?
Batista.
Oh, Batista. Batista, I know. Jeff Hardy. I'm looking up Jeff Hardy right now.
Yeah. His Swanton Bomb was his finisher.
So he's interesting. He has, he put what is that? What do you do with hair? Like you tie hair onto that, hair ties? Like he has weird looking hair, makeup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I watched him, he didn't paint his face. Like he did before I watched him, before my time. And then now he paints his face again. But when I watched him, he wasn't into the whole face painting thing.
Okay. So you like that. You're not a fan of face painters. And then the next thing to discuss is you enjoy WWE now. Do you get a chance to watch it or what?
Yes. So I watch it when I can. Like last night was Monday Night Raw. So I watched it. I go to bed at like 9:00. So I didn't get to finish it.
What? Why do you go to bed at 9:00?
Can we just end this right now?
No, why do you go to bed at 9:00? I don't understand it.
I wake up at like 6. So, it's like
you need 9 hours of sleep every single night because you're going to be so physically active the next day, pumping iron at the gym.
Yes.
This is amazing. You're done at 9:00 at night. Spectacular.
I like to be down around then,
Yeah. So what's a typical weekend like for Ally Mccann? What do you do? Do you go
Uh,
out? Do you have friends?
Do I have friends?
Yeah.
So I just moved back home with my parents for the time being.
Okay.
I don't really have many friends left in my hometown. My best friend, she's still around, so I hang out with her when I can, but
Mhm.
I don't really go out. I don't enjoy, going out and partying, and
That's
I
so
like to
weird.
go out, maybe
Yeah.
have a beer or two, but
You're much like a 45-year-old man.
yeah.
Don't go out, don't do very much. So you don't work out, you don't go out. I think you're a gem personally. I know a lot of people would say, that's perfect. Sit in your house, don't leave your house, don't work out, watch wrestling. Just
Yeah,
when you were wrestling, did you ever like wrestle your brother or any of your girlfriends growing up?
yeah. So I grew up with neighbors. They're all boys.
Mhm.
Three brothers down the street, and I used to like actually wrestle them. Like they would body slam me to the ground. We went all out, and so we came up
Really?
with our own finishers, and yeah, we would pretend that we were actually like in the storylines of WWE.
What was the name of your finisher? And what was your wrestling name?
I just went by Allie. They used to
In the
have
red
like,
corner,
yeah.
standing 5'4", 12 pounds. You weren't
That's
5'4", you
boxing.
were 4'6" and 12 pounds. Allie. That's not very intimidating, Allie. You
No.
needed like my name wrestling was Holden the Crush Man Kushner. And I was also 4'5" and about 12 pounds when I was in middle school.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, seriously, too. I'm not even kidding. Like I had to go on HGH to even get to where I was today. So speaking of HGH, are you into steroids, drugs?
No.
No, you don't like
I
any of
don't
that
do
stuff.
drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah,
Occasionally, I'll have a Miller Lite.
occasionally. So you got to keep, well, that's good too. I mean, you're clean and you like that. Before we get out of here, would you like to ask me a question or two about life? Or are you going to go in a shell and say, I can't think of anything right now?
Right before we hopped on here, Big T was texting me about my pick that I'm doing a little later on, but he mentioned how you have had quite the career in hosting.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously I need to hear about, like what was your favorite job in hosting that you had? One.
This isn't inside the DFS studio with me. This is inside the DFS studio with you. So I don't know why you're sitting here peppering me with questions and making me uncomfortable.
You just said, what are my questions?
Well, here, I'll just give you this. I'll tell you this much, that my first job had to be worse than yours. So I went to the University of Kansas, and this was before computers, I think. No, they had just started launching the internet. And I remember this guy saying, you got to check out the internet. And I'm like, And it'd go, dude. You had this thing, it'd go, dude. It was dial up, so it'd take forever. Yes. So anyways, I get out of college. My professor goes, I got a great job for you. I said, what? Because I wanted to be a play-by-play guy. And I did play-by-play for a while. And then you were in minor league baseball. Who wants to drive a bus 12 hours to get to the next town? Like nobody wants to ride in a bus with a bunch of stinky baseball players. So anyways, I go out there. I'm in Liberal, Kansas. Have you ever heard of Liberal, Kansas? No. It is seriously, it's like, it would be the armpit of America, but it's not good enough to be the armpit of America. Okay. It is in Southwest Kansas. And basically the largest town, more than 25,000 people, was 3.5 hours away, Wichita, Kansas.
I know Wichita.
Okay, you've heard of Wichita. It literally smelled like shit because there was a meat packing plant on one side, and on the other side was the county dump. Now, people don't believe this, but when you wake up in the morning and you just smell death of cows, it's nauseating and you never get used to it. So we had that. And then there was Steve Foreman. He was a 450-pound guy he was upset at me because he didn't like the new guy in town. So he threatened to like sit on me or something. And then my other guy, we were talking about guys that are 4'5". He's probably about 4'3". His name was Joe Nix. I'll never forget him because he was a little person with a glass eye. And he used to take this eye out and put it on my desk. And it worked every single time because I'd just do this, like, oh my God, there's a glass eye. And the little guy would walk up there with his little arms and he'd take his eye back and he'd put it back in his socket. This was my first job. So what was your first job?
My first job was in Memphis.
No.
Actually, I lived on oh, you mean outside of sports?
Yeah, like your first job. Yeah.
I worked at an ice cream shop.
Ooh, what's the name of it? I love ice cream, by the way.
Yes, me too. It was called Valley Scoops.
Okay.
Yes. And
you used to scoop it up. Did you go home with like sore forearms or anything like that?
Yes. Like your wrists and here, they hurt so bad.
To this day, or is it okay?
No,
Did it heal up?
You know, I do have like pain in my wrists. I don't know if it stems from the ice cream.
Yeah.
Probably all the texting that, you know, we do in this generation. But I was an ice cream girl.
Okay. What's your favorite flavor? For me, there's a flavor. It's Turkish coffee. So it's actual coffee ice cream with real grinds of coffee in it. And then what I do is I take a little chocolate milk and I'll put some chocolate milk and I'll mix it up and I'll eat it. I would say it's more like a Jamocha type of thing. What is your favorite ice cream, Ali Mccann?
All right. So this is a hot take. And I think it's a Pennsylvania thing, but it's called tea berry. Do you know what tea berry leaves are?
Nope.
No, maybe that's just a Pennsylvania thing too. I don't even know how to describe it. A lot of people think that it tastes like Pepto-Bismol, but it is my favorite ice cream. And I also love black raspberry. You know black raspberry?
Well, I have heard of black raspberry, yes. I've eaten a real black raspberry. I've probably had the ice cream before too. Do you put any toppings on your ice cream?
I don't. Unless I do like a vanilla, I'll do like hot fudge on it.
Yeah.
But
so here's what I learned about you today. First of all, you like Pepto-Bismol flavored ice cream.
Yes.
Your wrestling name was Ali.
Yeah.
And your favorite email server is Yahoo. And you don't go out. Just a complete catch over here with Ali Mccann, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what though? Like my one of my nicknames was Ali Mac, which is fitting because I picked 2 winners in the Maction. So now you can like officially call me Ali Mac.
You must spend hours a day researching Maction though. I mean that's the big one.
I love Maction football.
Ali, it was a joy, a pleasure to be joined by you today. Hopefully I didn't make you uncomfortable.
No.
We messed up. We held back on a lot of questions, which I think was a good thing. Cause again, I think you're going to, well, I didn't tell you this. I think you're really good. I think you're going to be a star. As long as you keep your head on, you don't go out and drink and get drunk. And maybe at some point in time, if you continue to eat ice cream, get in the gym, run, push-ups, something like that. Okay. It's just my recommendation to you. You don't have to take it, but
I appreciate that.
You know,
sometimes I need that little push.
Yeah, you need the push. And if you don't listen to me, you'll end up doing public access television in Scranton, which probably does not pay very much. So yeah. Ali Mccann, everybody. How do they find you on Instagram with your professional tripod holder and Twitter as well?
Yeah. So Twitter, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. My name on Twitter is ALII. There's 2 I's in there.
Why?
You can, like, when I first made Twitter, the username just Ali Mccann, ALI, was taken, and it has been inactive for like 15 years now. So I wish I could get my hands on it, but I can't. So that for now is my.
Okay. And the other thing was the Instagram.
Yes, just ALI.
Just
Ali Mccann.
Very confusing. Okay, Ali Mccann, thank you very much for joining the RunPure Sports, RunPure Bets inside the DFS studio. Now you know how to get in touch with Ali Mccann. Don't be a misogynistic pig. Be nice and just say, hey, listen, here she is. I knew her when. I'm Holden. Can I please do my outro without an interruption, Ali? I'm trying to teach you something here. Thank you for watching inside the DFS studio. Bye-bye.